Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Bren.
And I'm Al.
And this is the Life in Progress podcast.
We're so excited for you guys to be listening to our first podcast. And this week we're going to be talking about perception, how we view others, but also how we view ourselves.
We hope you enjoy. So this is it.
Yes.
We've made it. Cheers.
We are starting a podcast.
We are
I will
starting.
cheers to that.
We've started.
At the very least, we will have had one under our belt, so we can say that we have started a podcast.
Absolutely. Perfect point.
Whether or not we progress in a podcast, we've started one, but
yeah,
I'm
I'm excited. This is awesome. It's a Tuesday right now. We're in our comfies, and we have the privilege of walking 3 doors down to one another to do this. So it's exciting, and we're glad you guys are here and listening, whoever's out there.
And thank you, Sean, for setting us up.
Absolutely.
Very, very lucky to have a fiance / very good friend that will set up amazing equipment for us that we don't know how to use. So thank God he's in the other room babysitting us. But yeah, here we go. We have really talked about doing something together for a very long time. Starting a business, an event company. I don't know. We just wanted to do something together. But we're really, really good at talking and telling stories. And I think, we just a couple weeks ago just sat down and said we just really need to buckle down and do this. So I'm excited to dive in and kind of see where this journey takes us. I have no idea. I think we're going to get into some really hard stuff and good stuff. And I'm excited.
I think a lot of our conversations come from a place of being vulnerable and just like craving authenticity because it's lacking so much around us, and not just by people we know or anything, but just by our culture and society. We are glued to our phones. We are glued to our computers. We are so concerned about filters. We're so concerned about having this image. And this isn't anything new. I mean, this has been happening for decades and decades. But I think a lot of our conversations just kept revolving around this idea of just wanting to be a better version of ourselves and how to give ourselves grace in the process. And so, it was just like Al was saying, we were chatting and we just thought, you know what, let's just do it. We've been talking about this for a long time. We can come up with so many reasons why we shouldn't do this or why there's somebody better fit to do this. But we just kind of looked at each other and were like, why the hell not? Yeah. So here we are, and we hope this is worth it because we just felt it was burdened on our heart to do something. So, yeah,
I think, too, we've talked about starting so many things and being really good at not finishing them. And I think for the first time in a really long time, I'm excited to dive into something with kind of a question mark at the end. Literally, it could just be like our 3 best friends listening to this, and that's fine, and we can hope for more. But at the end of the day, I'm just excited to challenge ourselves, to be able to share our experiences and hopefully to encourage other people to really push outside of their comfort zone and break barriers within their own life, because this really is that for us. In this podcast, we really want to talk about things that aren't necessarily talked about, that may be taboo, that may be just kind of one of those hidden things that, it's better left unsaid. But I think for us, why not? Why we want to just keep asking why those things are happening. And I think to make things normal and human and to help others feel less alone, it's just important, and we need more of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to echo that too, because I feel like a lot of times people want to have these conversations and maybe people are having them with the select few. But what does it look like if we make it more on a larger scale, more broadcasted? Because more and more people need to hear that they are not alone in how they're feeling and that people are like them, going through similar things. And so, we just hope that this is a safe place to discuss vulnerability and what it looks like to be authentic in a very filtered world. So
And we are not pledging to be perfect
No.
and sharing what we've learned and now we're done and we've stopped trying. I think this is really just us laying it out there, open heart, open mind, knowing that that's really the only way to progress and to continue and to really become the best versions that we can be of ourselves. So yeah. So do you want to talk about why Life in Progress is a name for our podcast?
Yeah. So back to a couple weeks ago when we said, why the hell not? We basically just forced ourselves into a corner to say, we're doing this and we're not going to come up with an excuse. So Al, the organized, wonderful type A that she is, said, get our calendars out. What are we doing next week? So yeah, last week we met together and we just brainstormed and it was so fun just like bouncing ideas off of each other and just talking about different topics. And we were just really excited to get there. And so then after that, we thought, well, we need a name. So
Sure do.
we had a whiteboard and we were just writing down really cool words and a bunch of those were taken. And so I don't know, one thing led to another. And basically just we were talking about really what this podcast means to us and what we hope it means to others. And a lot of that has to do with literally that our life is in progress. So everything we're doing, it's not necessarily about the end goal or about the result, but about the journey. And so we just thought that sums it up. It's, so hopefully that translates. And so just everything we're going to be talking about each week or every other week, however that comes about, is going to be about life in progress.
And I think, too, one of the things that was really important for us when we started talking about a name and what we want to be talking about on this was the idea of course, challenging ourselves and not feeling like we need to settle with where we're at or that we, can't be brave enough to push forward and pursue our goals and dreams. But also realizing that, life can get really freaking hard. And sometimes you don't want to push forward. Sometimes you just want to sit on the couch with ice cream. And that's okay, And I think that word progress also insinuates the idea of there is a process. Things aren't going to happen overnight if we want them to, or if we will them to be, or, if I work hard enough, I will get this one thing. I don't think that that's the point, but it's the idea of allowing yourself what you need. Sometimes that is just to pump it out, get stuff done. And sometimes that is just to focus on your mental health, which I know we'll definitely be talking about down the road. But I think it's just the process of really becoming human and allowing that to be what it is.
Absolutely. I think we just want others to feel like we're all in this together. Literally, we, like Al said, we don't have it all figured out. And we don't think that you do either. And so it's just more of a conversation and just empowering each other and not to give you some sort of guidelines to, the 5 steps to success. Nobody needs that. That's not real. That's not, that's just not a reality. We need real and raw truth and real and raw stories of what people have gone through. And so we can be encouraged and empowered. And more importantly, to know that it's okay to be exactly where you are. I think if the goal is to better yourself slowly but surely, that's beautiful. And I think we just need to hear that more, that we are okay where we are because we have so many things coming at us that are telling us the opposite, that we're not okay, that we're not good enough, that we're not pretty enough, thin enough, strong enough, smart enough, the list goes on. So we hope as you hear our stories and our words that you would feel encouraged and that you would just know where you are is totally okay. And that we're all just going through this and we're all in progress.
And I think, too, one thing that I really realized and not wanting to push myself with doing a podcast or now I've created a blog that I'll be posting in and writing. And Sean and I are going to start working on more music together, for example, just really, these are the most vulnerable things that I could be doing right now. But I think for a long time, I decided not to allow myself to even begin to think about broadcasting these things because I needed to perfect whatever that craft was to be able to then share it. And to my surprise, I realized that I just will never perfect. And even though we obviously know that we aren't perfect, and that shouldn't even really be the goal, honestly, that's been the hardest thing for me to actually see and to accept. And yeah, I'm at a place now of it's really cool being able to do this podcast specifically because it's literally just saying out there, I don't have it figured out and I'm okay with it.
Absolutely.
And I hope that you can be too in all aspects. So
it feels good. It feels good to give ourselves a break.
Yeah.
And like give ourselves grace because we're so hard on each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, well, we are hard on each other too.
Yeah.
But we're hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? We don't give ourselves a pat on the back when we should, or just like, hey, you did all right today. It's okay. We're just so quick to say what we didn't do or what mark we missed. And so that's really, I'm proud of you for coming to that place. And I'm so excited to be along this journey with you. Because I wouldn't want to do this by myself.
No, we're not that bold.
No.
We're not that bold.
And
we
that
will
would be
do
a
this
boring
together.
podcast.
Yeah, I don't think that people do that.
No.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't listen to those.
No.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess just for what's next for us, so we are in the preliminary phases of figuring this out. But this weekend we took some photos and created an Instagram and Twitter. I think people still have that. And we have a Twitter and we'll be posting this stuff soon. But be sure to follow along. We're really excited to begin this next chapter and we'll be very, very excited to see some people follow along with that. I mean, of course, we're expecting our friends. Where you at? You better be there for us right now. There will be a test later. Just kidding. But we're just excited to kind of push forward. Like I said, I have a blog that I'm working on, and I'll post about that soon. But yeah, at the very least, we're excited to take action and challenge ourselves in this next season.
Yeah, and with Instagram, we just kind of want to use it also as an interactive tool. So, we're hoping we have ideas for the future for different topics. But we keep saying, we just want this to be a conversation and inclusive to echo what everybody's going through or what everybody's thinking about. And so we're hoping to utilize that as a platform to be interactive, to hear what do you guys want to hear about. I think a lot of times it's easier to be in the shadows and have somebody else talk about your story. Maybe you're just not in a place to share it yet. And if we could be that platform for you, we would love to be the voice for the voiceless, as cheesy as that can sound, but seriously. And also, just like if you guys have these questions and you're like, I'm too afraid to ask that myself. Well, we don't have a lot of fears over here, so we're pretty no filters. If we'll be hopefully using that as a place to just get your feedback and talk about things you guys want to hear about.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're so good at this, Bren.
Oh gosh, no.
I love it. All right.
Wine helps.
Yeah, wine helps.
This podcast brought to you by 19
we
Crimes. No, what is
Second
this?
Voyage? I don't know. But
it's red,
really,
it's in a bottle, and
it's $10.
good.
So you can't
Cheers.
Cheers to that. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we are just starting this out and figuring this out. But like Bren said, share with us if there's something that you want to see talked about, or I guess hear talked about in this case, or if you want to join us and, talk about something that's been on your heart or an experience you've had or whatever, let us know. We'd love to have you. We will provide cheap wine and it'll be really excited to see other people kind of join us in this process too.
Yeah. Awesome. So for our first podcast, that was kind of our general intro of just who we are and why we're doing this. But we do want to kind of start off with some sort of topic. And that was kind of hard to come to conclusion on what's our first topic. I mean, that's kind of a bold one. So we kind of wanted to kind of carry on the conversation of what it looks like to be living in this day and age and how hard it can be. And a lot of that has to do with perspective of each other and especially of ourselves. I thought it would be a little fun to just share who we are, and also that helps you get to know us a little bit better. But also a flip side of that is who we think the other person is in our eyes, because oftentimes I think those could be two different descriptions. So I'll start. My name's Brenda Price, and let's see, I did not plan this. I planned it, but I didn't write anything down. So I am 31, and I am married to Jamie Price. We've been married for 5 years, which sounds insane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary in June, and we have a beautiful baby girl who's not a baby at all anymore, but she's just my little girl. Her name is Isley June, and she is a year and a half next week. So by the time you're listening to this, I'm sure. And she's just awesome. She's full of joy. She is funny, and
She's the best.
she just literally like brings so much life to my life. But yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom, which is my dream job. Literally, since I was a little girl, I just always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So here I am living my dream, which is really awesome and hard and rewarding and beautiful and crazy and chaotic and amazing all in one. And let's see. Yeah, I love music. I love karaoke. I love just community and hanging out and coffee and beer and wine and just having a good time and embracing life and all of those things. So, and I'll add this to my list, hopefully, is just being vulnerable and having a podcast. So yeah, that's me.
Dang, your life is so fun.
It sounds fun. Well, as we have more episodes, you'll probably hear all the crying of just being a mom is hard sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's overall rewarding, and I'm giving you my first impression, right? So it's always going to be a good one.
No, that's great. Okay, so I guess I'll talk about myself. I, too, love beer and wine and community and all of those things. But yeah, I'm Alexandria Rose Negron, and I'm almost 32, going strong, really just diving into my 30s and getting super cozy. But I don't mind being in my 30s, and we'll talk about this in a future episode already, 30s versus 20s.
Yeah.
I don't really care as much in my 30s, so praise be to that. I am engaged to one of the most amazing human beings in the entire world, Sean. He's just everything to me, a companion. We have way too much fun together and laugh too hard. He is so loyal and so considerate, amazing singer-songwriter, and I'm very thankful that he set up this podcast for us. So love him. He's the best. I couldn't say enough great things, but it's about me, so we'll move on. I think one of the things for me that I've really struggled with for a long time is like, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? And I know that is such a big, scary question that I think I would partway avoid and partway be just super stressed out and frustrated because I couldn't figure out what that was. And I've been in therapy for the most part on for 4 years. It's really been, I guess, like 3.5 years on after some really tough times in my life, but it has completely transformed me and allowed me to definitely settle into the person I am. Total plug for therapy. If you're not there, you got to go. It is life-changing and so wonderful, and you don't have to have issues to go. I think just being able to have, it is my space, my carved out time to be whatever I need it to be, as this will kind of turn into too. So yeah, I'm a very firm believer in therapy and obviously vulnerability. I love, love, love what I guess you would call self-help books, Brene Brown, Rachel Hollis, Shauna Nyquist, the list goes on. I love it all, and I'm really just in a pursuit to be okay being human and evolving and pursuing the things that I love. And just I'm really excited to try new things. I love to sing. I love to write. Definitely like to talk way too much. So I'm excited to really kind of go all in and invest my time in me, really. And I think that I hope that that's an encouragement for other people too. But as a mom, damn girl, good for you. I don't know how I function on my own. Like I take up so much of my time, and I'm sure Sean's time too. So yeah, but I don't know. I guess that's a lot, and I didn't really have that written down either. But that's me.
From the heart.
Here we go.
That's what we want. We don't need scripts.
No, we sure don't.
No one wants that. Well, Al, you left out a lot.
Oh my gosh.
So, yes, you are all those things, but you are also an amazing friend. You are extremely loyal, and our heart to hearts literally could fill like hours and days and weeks of our time because we can literally talk for so long, which again led us to a podcast, and it forces people to listen to us. Anyway, so yeah, you have always been just someone that I instantly felt comfortable with sitting down and feeling like I could literally pour out my whole heart, like no guard, no walls. There's something about your energy that is very welcoming without you saying those words. Like you just kind of just protrude this aura of I'm here, I'm an ear, and like you give such great advice and such like wisdom. And you don't pretend to have it all together. And I think that's why I've always gravitated towards you. And so I'm super thankful for the relationship that we've had and the relationship that our significant others have, and just our entire friend group or just community can gain from you. So you are all those things, but you also just have a very beautiful and rare soul. And I think that is very, very hard to find, especially in this time. And so, yeah, and you are an awesome aunt to our little girl, and she says your name. So, yeah, so that's also a different perspective on who you are.
Okay, sorry. I need a moment to breathe because that was so sweet. Oh my God. No, I adore you. Honestly, we're just talking. We've been friends for like 12 years, which is crazy because we're not even that old, but I guess we are. So that's a reality check. Back to 30s. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'd say for you, I mean, I think obviously these past 5 years from you being a wife, being a mom in the past year and a half, I think that's such a big part of who I see you as. And I mean that in the best way. You know, I've always seen you as just like a badass wife, and always looked up to you and how you pursue your relationship. And I can very much say that being around you and Jamie in my times of struggle and kind of figuring myself out, I really look to you guys as support for just really loyal friendships, but also because I value the relationship that you hold so strongly in pursuing each other. And I'm so thankful to really have that now. Yeah. And our guys are buddies, and it's the best. I'm so thankful. And I think as a mom, like, forget it. You are so diligent and patient and kind and gentle. And like Isley, I'm sure makes it a little bit easier because she's so perfect. But honestly, I mean, I can only imagine how hard of a job it is. And you do it with such stride and grace, honestly. And I hope that you really value what you bring to both of those relationships because it is so huge. And I think such an honor for both Jamie and Isley to get to experience the love that you give them. But back to me, I really feel that you are, you know, one of the most genuine, caring people I've ever met. I literally just know that I could call you at any time and you would be there, no questions, no judgment, because you have so much. And I've never taken our friendship for granted. I don't think I could say thank you enough for all you've done for me and been there for me. You're a loyal companion and sidekick when we're just like trying to have a good time. But yeah, you're tried and true. You're honest and authentic. I really value what I see as you knowing who you are and being confident in who you are. And I know to some degree we all feel like that can't be true.
Right.
You know, that's great that you see that, but here's my laundry list of reasons why I'm not that. But I hope that serves as an encouragement for you to like own that. You know, that's what you like forecast out, you know, and I hope that you can see that as a truth and own that and live that and feel that. You know, you take risks and not, you know, you don't know where those things will take you, but you try, you know, and you just, I'm proud of you for taking leaps and challenging yourself, and this being one of them. You are a mom. It's hard to carve out time for yourself, but I think that we both have seen this as such a big value and so important, at the very least for ourselves.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, I'm excited to dive in, but
well,
yeah, this was a cool exercise.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. It's interesting, like, hearing it, and you even just said we can come up with a laundry list of like, well, no. And I even was doing that. So I feel like, yeah, you say all these things, and then I'm like, but no, you didn't see that one day that I felt like I snapped at Isley, so I'm a bad mom. You know, all of a sudden everything else goes out the window. Yeah. So it's like we are all guilty of that. But I think, yeah, this exercise, and maybe for those listening, you know, whether you know us or not, you might think, wow, that was really like deep and emotional and, you know, whatever. But it's special, and I feel very encouraged and uplifted. And we hope that maybe you could do that, you know, find a friend that you just feel like, you know what, I haven't told them in a long time. Like, they actually really helped me a lot, or they helped me through this time. And I just want to pick up the phone and call them, because we don't call each other anymore. You know, we just text. And so, yeah, maybe that's something that we should work on more in our lives, is just like really just taking time to remind others of how we view them, because we know that we don't view ourselves in that light, in that same light. It's like we're incapable of it, but hopefully we can become better at loving ourselves, because self-love is absolutely where it has to start. Totally. One other thing we want to do in this podcast is probably flood you with quotes, because why not? And so kind of piggybacking on that exercise and just like this kind of first topic of the podcast, I came across this quote. It's anonymous. The best ones are, I feel like. I even actually like truly Googled it to be like, well, I bet it's not actually anonymous, but yeah, it is. Anyway, but yeah, so I read this like last week and literally just cried, because I was like, damn, can we say that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry, Mom. No, she doesn't care. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to read it. Maybe I'll post it to our Instagram too, so you can kind of read it yourself, but it just kind of ties into everything we're talking about. So, it doesn't make sense to call ourselves ugly, because we don't really see ourselves. We don't watch ourselves sleeping in bed, curled up and silent, with chests rising and falling with our own rhythm. We don't see ourselves reading a book, eyes fluttering and glowing. You don't see yourself looking at someone with love and care inside your heart. There's no mirror in your way when you're laughing and smiling and happiness is leaking out of you. You would know exactly how bright and beautiful you are if you saw yourself in the moments where you are truly yourself.
Yes. Thank you, Anonymous.
Yeah, whoever you
nailed
are.
It, Anonymous.
But seriously, it was like, you know what? I need to give myself a break. Like, I am so cruel. I wake up in the morning, I look in a mirror, and I'm like, oh, I have more bags. Oh, my eyebrows are patchy. Oh, whatever, I got a zit. Like, who cares? Like, how about wake up and be like, wow, I'm alive today, and I'm a wife and a mom and a friend and all these things that you just said. Why don't I tell myself those things? And I'm sure you can echo that too. And hearing this was like, I don't see myself the way others do. So if I can focus just on being my true self, that's beautiful enough, and that's okay enough.
Yeah.
And then hopefully one day I'll believe it too.
Totally. I mean, I think sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it, to some degree. In therapy, one of the things that she had talked to me about was literally going in front of a mirror and saying, you are worthy. You are worth it. You are beautiful. You are loved. And just keep saying it until you feel it. And I think that is such an important exercise. I know we don't want to give you those 3 steps to the perfect life. But I think, yeah, just those little things that have worked for us or for other people to share with us are so important because, again, we're all trying to figure it out. But I think the interesting thing is we really are so worried about how other people view us. So often we are living a life trying to be a mask or, special version of ourselves to be accepted by other people, when in reality, no one gives a shit. I'm sorry, I just said that, but really, people don't care. Everybody's just so focused on themselves and then, giving ourselves a hard time. We feel that we need to minimize ourselves and keep ourselves small. We can't be too big because what would people say if we were too big, too strong, too confident, But I really, especially as a woman in today's society, I know that I've done that. I'll judge the person that has, her head held up high and, I hate to admit it, but it's true. And when I reflect on that, I realize, it's because I want that, and I think by being able to support each other, supporting other women and men too, really, we are all trying our damn best. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be holding our head up high, living our truth, being real and authentic. And if people don't like that, it doesn't matter, no, it doesn't. How we're feeling. We have to live with ourselves for the rest of our life, no matter what, no matter who comes into our life, who goes out of our life. We are our only constant in the light and in the dark. And I think to be living a life for other people, we're just completely missing it. Yeah. And I wanted to share a quote too. But Glennon Doyle, forgot her. She is the best. I am so obsessed with her. I didn't know she existed until a couple of months ago. And she also has just completely transformed my life. So I am so thankful. But one of the quotes actually was just pulled from her stories on Instagram this week. She says, when one person shares his or her truth, it clears the way for another person to share his or her truth. And another one to say, me too, me too, me too. It's freedom that is contagious. And that is what is so beautiful about truth, no matter what it's about. So try it today. Tell somebody who you are. You just might free them to come out of hiding too.
Oh, I love that.
Boom.
I love that.
Mic drop. Yeah. We're not going to do that because I don't know how to fix this mic, but we'd want to. I just think, just that idea of being true, being authentic, being real, being raw, being vulnerable. When I've thought about, well, what topics can we talk about and what should we not? We're going to be 98% in, but that other 2% we don't talk about because that's too hard and nobody talks about that. It's understood. I don't want that for us.
I want the 2%.
Yeah, we want the 2% because
nobody is.
Nobody's going to talk about that 2%. Yeah. We see so many people that are struggling, either living life just completely aimless and completely just void of that juice, that good stuff that they need, and suicide rates being crazy high and all of these things. And I think for people just to be real and honest and say, me too. Yeah. Maybe I haven't gone through that experience, but I'm here and I'm with you and I've gone through stuff too and I have my baggage too, but we're gonna go through this together and I can relate to you and I'm here.
Absolutely.
And if we can somehow serve slightly that truth, done.
Then it's all worth it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Love it. Well,
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about for our first podcast. If you've made it this far, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we are hoping to continue these conversations. Realistically, we're going to try for every other week. If you want more, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
We would love to do this, as often as we can because it helps us too. And I think if we can just carry on these conversations, it's just we're putting out some joy and positivity into the universe. And at the very least, I think that's a beautiful thing. So thanks for listening, and be on the lookout for more podcasts and different topics, and reach out to us if there's something you want to hear or someone you want to hear. We are very open and just kind of winging it, because that's like the most authentic place to be, and that's what we want to hear. So we're hoping that's what you want to hear too.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to our podcast and for being willing to join us in these conversations. We hope you join us next time.
Be kind to yourself this week. Don't forget to find us on Instagram at Life in Progress Podcast to stay in the loop.
I'm Al.
And I'm Bren.
And this is the Life in Progress Podcast.